I'm on a mission to get every MCU figure in LEGO form, mainly because one day I want to build a LEGO model for every single figure over on my building channel, Tommy C Bricks. And of course that means I've picked up a lot of Iron Man suits along the way, from the old two-piece style helmets to the one-piece designs and now these new two-piece helmet styles. But one thing I've noticed with Marvel sets is a reoccurring issue, and it seems to get worse with every single wave we get. Now there are definitely Marvel sets that I would say are worth the price. The massive ships like the Milano and the Benatar, not only are those sets amazing, but they don't skimp out on the minifigures either. I've seen people calling them Marvel UCS sets, and considering what you get, I really don't think the price is all that bad. But then there's the other side of this coin. Sets like the X-Jet got absolutely torn apart for being so overpriced. And even sets like the Hoopty, which everybody hated, arguably is a really good set, just completely ruined by the price. And I feel like the Iron Man Armory sets always end up in this same situation. They tend to have great minifigures, as let's face it, they're Iron Man figures, people are gonna want those suits. But the build always seems like an afterthought. I bring this up because in about a month we're getting a new Iron Man armory called the Iron Man Laboratory, and it looks like it's going to be a mix of Iron Man 1 and 3. Once again, the minifigures look great with barely any reuse across the wave. We get two regular Iron Man suits, one looking like the Mark III, which I believe is a reuse, but the other one I think is completely brand new for the set. We get a brand new version of Iron Patriot, which is a very sought after minifigure from the old Iron Man sets, going from around $60 to $90 these days. We even get minifigures like Pepper and Killian. Now I know the Pepper is a reuse, we've seen her many times, but the Killian is actually new, which is really awesome to see, but I just can't say the same for the set itself. And alongside that price tag, it's kinda crazy. The set consists of 384 pieces and 5 minifigures. And while I think the £50 price tag is a bit ridiculous, I actually think the biggest problem here is piece allocation. Now let me explain. If you compare this set to other sets we see in other themes like Star Wars and Harry Potter, you'll see that these pass the eye test much easier than something like this Iron Man set will. Take this new release Night Bus for example. It's got 100 more pieces but one less minifigure, so there's definitely a bit of give and take here. Using a lot bigger bricks to make what looks to me like a really good screen accurate bus. As well as that, they give us a little side build really reminiscent of the original set, and not only that, they give us an exclusive animal piece which I didn't even count as part of the minifig lineup. And all of that is actually £5 cheaper than this Iron Man set. I mean, think about this for a second. I could buy this set which gives us 2 minifigures and this set that gives us another 2 minifigures, combine them and have 360 pieces with 4 minifigures. I know they're the same, but you know, what you're gonna do. And I'm just over half the price of this Iron Man set. And this to me feels like a way more complete package, even though this doesn't have a base for it to stand on. Very similar to the Iron Man set. But I get it, Harry Potter is made by Warner Brothers and maybe they don't take as much of a LEGO cut in terms of their fees. And I know that can affect pricing, so maybe it's not the best comparison. But the set I think might be a better pick is also made by Disney. It's a franchise as big, if not bigger than Marvel. The set's £50, it has 5 minifigures, both 8+, and it has 382 pieces, making it 2 less pieces than the Iron Man Lab, but it's almost identical. But before we talk about that, I would like to thank today's sponsor, HelloFresh. HelloFresh is actually a service I've been using for a while now. I know everybody says that, but genuinely my family and I have been getting HelloFresh boxes for a couple of months. If you don't know what HelloFresh is, it's basically a box that turns up to your door with all of the ingredients to make some really nice and tasty meals. And I can honestly say the quality of the food is amazing. And the best part is how easy the meals are to make with the provided recipes. Even if you're not the best cook like me, it's easy to whip up something that looks and tastes great. And one of the best parts is it's all customizable. You can swap meals out, double up on some meals if you want to, skip some weeks if you're going on holiday, and pick from over 50 different dinner options every week. Plus they got calorie and protein smart meals if, like me, you're trying to eat a little bit healthier. Right now, HelloFresh is offering 1 free breakfast item per box for life while your subscription is active. So if you go to the link in my description, use the code TOMMYFEB10, you'll get 10 free meals plus that breakfast item deal. So thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring this one. Like I say, links in the description. Go and check it out. No, the set I want to focus on is actually the Duel on Peridia set from Ahsoka. And I think the main difference is that the LEGO Star Wars designers have had adults in mind from the set's inception. The designers really seem to have leaned towards using more useful pieces, like bricks, plates, and tiles, to build up this solid base, which is actually a brick tool, making it feel way more like a diorama as opposed to a playset, but without losing any of those playset features. Now take that as an example and look back at the Iron Man set. This set's been split into basically 3 main sections: the wall, wall, the suit up stand, and the Igor build. And if you ask me, this core aspect is what is making this set suffer. Instead of using more useful pieces to make up a core structure and make something a bit more substantial, they've gone for the more detailed route, using a bunch of really tiny pieces to make up a section of wall. Which is actually fine for the walls itself. Like I say, I like the detail, but there's no actual build there. It's just a random wall shoved off to the side. And it's the same with Igor. Igor is actually a really nice looking build. The issue is I think all of the piece count for this set has gone into him, and thus just feels like he's there to bump up the price as opposed to being a core aspect of the set. If I'm honest, I would rather they either make the set more about Iron Man 3 or just left him out entirely. Instead, we got this really weird mismatch of Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 3. Iron Man 1 showing the arms putting the suit on to Tony, whereas the minifigures alluding to it being a more Iron Man 3 based set. But it's really easy to sit here and just complain about it, but I think what's more interesting is what I would have done differently. And I think if LEGO did want to release another version of Iron Man's lab, as opposed to doing something a bit more Iron Man 3 related, I think they should have taken a page out of the Star Wars book and built something a little bit more like a diorama, without necessarily branding it as one. They could have added a little platform base for the Tony Stark and the arms to go onto, with that little wall section in the background. Not only that, they probably could have had enough pieces in there to build some sort of little detailed section on the side. I think this direction would have made a really nice little desk piece, similar to how we see from that Star Wars set, while not necessarily branding it as an 18+ diorama set. I think the minifig lineup could have stayed exactly the same, obviously except Igor, because most of the build would have been going into that base section that we've added. But I also think that could have opened LEGO's doors up for making Igor a dedicated mech set, something that I know LEGO fans would enjoy, because putting maybe Killian and an exclusive Iron Man suit in an Igor build that's a mech, I know people would have picked it up. It's an extra Iron Man suit, people are gonna buy it. Not only would that make this set expandable, I think it would just make the set better and make LEGO more money. And not only that, I think it would make the price seem more worth it as well. LEGO Marvel have had this pricing dilemma for a bit of a while now, which if you ask me really sucks, because I'm either waiting for a sale price or I'm just not buying the set entirely. But all of the Hall of Armor sets arguably are even worse, because if you're someone like me who wants to collect the Iron Man suits, you're just buying a set that feels completely lackluster. And maybe apart from the first one, it just feels like you're buying the same build again just to get the exclusive suits. I even reviewed one of these sets within the last year or two, so having to repeat those points now, the same problems I had a year or two ago, is really frustrating. I feel like the Iron Man sets that are including multiple suits do this every time. And I think the thing that's annoying is that we could have a really nice looking set with just a little bit more effort than what feels like two side builds and a mech, especially at this price. Like I say, it's not all negatives though, the minifigures are actually really good here. Getting a new Killian without that weird glow in the dark face is pretty cool, even if it is just a reused Han Solo face. But I think the real reason I think this figure is cool is because it comes with that brand new torso piece. And like I say, I think that Iron Patriot is a stellar figure and it's going to look great as part of my collection. But what do you guys think? Genuinely, where do you think sets like this and some of the cheaper Marvel sets could improve? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section. And who knows, I might even try and make my dream armory set just because I think it would be cool to do a video on that kind of thing to see what we could be missing. I'll do that over on my other channel, Tommy C Bricks, so if you haven't checked out that channel, there's loads to catch up with, so go and check it out. For now, YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video up here, and thanks to all of the patrons that make this kind of a video possible. I'm working on loads of builds coming up, so they're all gonna be over on Tommy C Bricks right here, and I will see you guys in the next one.